It's time to get a little less serious about wrestling. This is the alternate commentary table with lifelong friends.
Notice your difference in size.
And lifelong wrestling fans.
Each is a very capable performer, and each is a little too clever to give the other boy much of an advantage.
Mitch Hontzias.
Credits himself with a lot of power.
And Dimitri Korolis.
So that he got all that power from drinking raw olive oil all through his youth.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dimitri Korolis. That's right. That's right, everyone. I started like that because we all know what happened. We know exactly what happened. But I got to tell you about a couple things that are happening here. First thing is you are listening to the alternate commentary table brought to you by the McGuire on Wrestling podcast feed, where you can download and stream and like and love and listen to your podcasts wherever you feel that you're getting them. Couple things you got to do. Team MOW on the Facebook page. Just ask to join. As Daddy says, we're just there to keep the bots away, keep the spam away, but it's a fun time. We got good things. Like our boy, Matty Smith, who turns around and says, hey, everyone, we need to remind you that there's a guy called the Iron Greek. Thank you for that, by the way. Greatest thing ever. McGuire on Wrestling, McGuireShow.com, the search for the merch, everything that's going on. Now, you're going to notice you didn't hear a voice. You didn't hear something. That's right. I'm going a little solo Sokoa on this one because our boy Mitch, he's on standby. He's on standby. His wife is ready to pop. She's bursting at the seams. And we're not talking crowd pop. We're talking baby pop. So, you know, the weather here is pretty bad, you guys. It's snowing like crazy. It's on standby. Due date's just around the corner. But just to be on the safe side, if we want to continue as grown men to do this podcast, what we decided is it's better to be around so Mitch doesn't get a call and say, sorry, honey, I can't take you to the hospital because we're recording the show. Although in our hearts, that's what we wanted to do. So nonetheless, we are getting into it solo. We'll get into the ACT here. I got a couple things. A week of wrestling. It's the weekend roundup. It's what we do. I'm going to try my best, but let's get at it. We're going to start with Raw. We're going to start with Monday Night Raw, which, again, the 2 hours, it's working for me. It's inherently trimmed some fat. I don't think that they're there yet. Again, I think that they're working on a couple things that we'll get to. I still think some of the things are getting stale. Like, I'm sorry. The thing with the Judgment Day, I just want it to end at some point. Like, let's get somewhere, and hopefully Survivor Series is that end. But I'd like to get us going in a direction. But again, the 2 hours is just forcing everyone to have quality time on TV, and that's what I like about it. So I got to ask you, everyone, is Damian Priest, is he cool again? Have we made him cool again? Is it possible that the once up-and-comer to the flatliner is now coming back? Because I got to tell you, I'm liking what he's doing to the Gunther. And I love me the Gunther. Don't get me wrong. This guy, I'm all Gunther all the time. I'm to the point that I think that Gunther should have every title. That's right, every title. I think it'd be great. It's almost like a boxer walking in when you have like the unified champ and they're walking, they got like 3 belts on each arm. I want to see that, but I like me my Damian Priest. I mean, when he's sitting on a chair over top and he's about as cool as the breeze, that's the guy I know. That's the guy I love. That's what I want to see. Since Mitch is gone, we're going to talk about a lot of Cody Rhodes today and a lot of LA Knight. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. But here is what I do want to talk about. So, you know, Mitch has been on this whole, what the heck is the Miz doing train? What is that all about? What the heck is happening with him in the Karrion Kross? And I agreed. I absolutely agree. It makes no sense. It's weird, except this past week. I'm liking the promo. I'm liking one guy's behind, then they do a do-si-do, but in a really cool way. And then he comes in front, and then he cuts a promo, and then he goes behind. And I got to tell you, I like every single thing about it. This is great. It's starting to work for me. It's growing on me. It moved, Jerry. It's growing on me. But they do have to go somewhere. And where I hope that they go is what we've talked about, and that is the end of the Wyatt sucks. That's right. I said it. I said it. We said it again. The why it sucks. I don't know, guys. It's there just to be there, and now it's not even really having an impact. And I don't know. Fault me for saying it. I'll be the bad guy. Mitch is not here, so you can only throw your darts at me. But did we not find that The Fiend went stale a bit as well? And I guess this is the other thing I'm having is you got the pop and the resurgence, but do we have such short-term memory that thing wasn't the greatest either? Now, maybe there's something to be said because during COVID, people had to, work with what they had. But Roman Reigns figured it out. So at the same time, I don't know if I can be so forgiving. Anyways, that's my point on this. Recruiting bad guys. All right. Let me tell you something. Survivor Series is just around the corner, okay? And in the Survivor Series, if you're in the traditional match at the upcoming War Games, if you're in the traditional match of the Survivor Series, you had to amass a team. You needed people around you. Now, some people are fortunate to already be part of the faction. In this case, the Bloodline, the new Bloodline, the 2.0, if you will. But see, they go and they say, look, we need a fifth man. And we're not going to wait for the Hulk Hogan type fifth man, although that would be cool. A little bash at the Survivor Beach. I'm just saying. But no, they decided to say, well, gee, you know what? Why don't we just go and recruit the biggest guy out there? See, this is why bad guys win for me. This is why I cheer for them. And I'm very heel-ish, if you will. And I think Mitch is the same way. I know. There's one thing to be a super good guy. I mean, he's a John Cena fan, not to say Mitch. But this is why we gravitate. Because they're smart. They think. You look at the other side of the original Bloodline, of course they fell apart. Of course under Roman's leadership they fell apart. They can't even find someone. They're asking the Rollins. They're asking this guy. They're asking that. Everyone says no, they don't want to do it. And even if they do, these people, to the Bronson Reed, I mean, come on. This is how you win, okay? You got to be a killer. On the sports show, we talk about killer instinct all the time. This is what we're talking about. They recruit the best guy out there. I'm surprised, why can't, I would bring in, remember when Kamala came and he was like the Ugandan giant? I would just travel the world and be like, hey, come over here for a second. I mean, I don't know, get a UFC fighter in there if you want. That'd be a pretty cool little cross promo. Actually, side note, could you imagine if the UFC did a Survivor Series of the UFC? 4 versus 4. Let's go even old school. Throw them in the octagon and just last man standing. I think it would be great. You see 2-on-1s on that guy holding them and you get a front kick in the ribs. It'd be crazy. Maybe John Jones might lose one. That one's for you, GW Joe. That one's for you, buddy. But yeah, overall, Raw, pretty good. Starting to like it. Like I said, it's getting better. It's trending in the right direction, at least for me. You know what? I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I'm going to quickly gloss over it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Again, it's hard to fill up time when you're on yourself, when you're used to the dichotomy that is Mitch and Dimitri on the ACT. But what I am going to say is this. AEW. It's Mitch and I love you. We really, really do. We love you so much that we want you to succeed. We love you so much that we're deep down rooting for you. But at the same time, we don't want to come and always be negative and just pick on everything because that's not fun either. Yes, there are bright spots in the program and what we're doing, but kind of not really lately. And I think that's the struggle and the issue that everyone is talking about or that everyone is addressing. And, for me, I just say there's certain things that you just can't mess with. Like the suit. A suit is a suit. We don't, sure, maybe we could wear different color socks and change up the game and maybe you can have a different color, different dress shirt underneath, have some variations. But the suit's the suit, and we don't need to get wild with it. And that's where I say sometimes the big dog on campus, whether you love it or hate it, in this case being the WWE, what they're doing is there's a formula to it, and there's an appetite for it. And that's what's missing in AEW. And I'm telling you, AEW, watch out, because there's this little thing called TNA wrestling that has that WWE type mold. And I'm not going to lie to you, the storylines seem to be a little more watchable. Where I'm going is you bring in the Hurt Syndicate. Cool. Love it. Excited. I actually, Mitch struggles with some of the presentation. I disagree on that. I think they're going all right. But here's where I do disagree with, and this is where I got to fall back to my partner. You bring out Bobby Lashley. The guy is 260 whatever pounds of brick stuff house. You're billing him and that Hurt Syndicate as this unbreakable, oh my goodness, they mean business. And then you do something that I really like. You know me. You use the Jobber. The Jobber is the most underutilized person in all of entertainment. If The Rock is the most electrifying, the Jobber is the most underused. You bring in old school Bobby Lashley, big brick house, 2 jobbers. He could beat up 2 guys at one time. And I love it. And it's amazing. And he's throwing them around. And he's double slamming them. And he's doing all the moves. He's pulling all the stops. And Dimitri's up in his chair until he's not. Why? Because Swerve Strickland walks right in and takes care of business like he's nothing. Now you're going to say, yeah, but you got to build the Swerve up. Okay. Well, watch me swerve something at you right here. What is the point of me watching this match if the guy that you've already built to beat and be at the top and was your champion at one time is not fazed by the newcomer? That's not good storytelling. I don't want to see the match right now. I don't believe that Bobby Lashley's the almighty. I think he's the all okay. And that's what you do week after week. And this is the tough part and the struggle that we have. Now, with the premium live events and everything coming up, I hope that there's a turn. Adam Cole, we warned you. We told you. We warned you. Even when your own people are saying that you're in a hard reset mode, that means that we're not totally offside. So anyways, enough of that. That's my AEW rant. I'll wait. It's a lot funner with Mitch. Okay. Let's go over to SmackDown. I love me my SmackDown. There's a lot that I love about my SmackDown. Number one, it's nice. It's nice. It's Friday night. It's nice. It's fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I get to sit back. Even my wife's in on the SmackDown too. I think I said it like the other day, the other week, I should say. She says to me, she goes, you know what? She goes, in all honesty, Friday doesn't feel like Friday without SmackDown. So ladies and gentlemen, honey, sugar babies, I've achieved it. I got the wife into wrestling. I've now put wrestling as a safe zone. The next stop is the kids. They kind of enjoy it. We're working on it. I don't want to rip the Band-Aid off, but we're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. This is a win for Team MOW. Getting the families involved. Okay. Bianca Belair carrying the team, literally and figuratively. And when I say carrying the team, I'm going to throw this out there. Bianca Belair is actually carrying the women's division on her back. And I was watching SmackDown yesterday and I said, okay, you know what? First thing, finding the Jade Cargill on the car. Let me tell you something. This is AEW. Look at this. This is what we're talking about. It's mystery. Who did it? Who's behind it? Who are the usual suspects? Is Kaiser Soze behind this? I don't know, but I'm intrigued and I want to watch. It's simple. It's effective. Now I want to tune in next week. What's going on the chase? You're missing some of that stuff. This is great. This is what I'm talking about. But Bianca Belair, I got to give her credit. You know why? The tag team division is alive and well because of her. The championship belt is alive and well when she has it. The women's division owes her a really, really, really big thank you because you know what? She's literally taking one for the team to step back and be in a tag team role, which is good from a character perspective. Maybe sometimes you need a bit of a break, but it's so crucial and so good for her role that she can come back, but it's good for the WWE, excuse me, because they have a utility person. But here's who I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for the Chelsea Green. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I'm telling you something right now. I'm kind of liking the Chelsea Green to maybe one day soon, become the new U.S. champion? I mean, listen, why not? You know who she reminds me of? You know what this is a refurbished character of? This is Carmella. We're looking at Carmella. And I like it. And I think that they should go this way. The most unlikely candidate wielding the belt in the most obnoxious way possible. I'm just saying. Okay? Nakamura. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Do we cue the slow clap? Do we cue the slow clap here for Shinsuke Nakamura? Is that what we're doing here? Because I think we should. I think it's amazing to me. This guy's gone away from injury. So he's this super good guy. I look back at this career. The guy's done everything. He came in as this Japanese dynamo, just, NXT champion. I'm pretty sure he was the NXT champion. But regardless, just coming in hot, this foreign figure. Everyone gravitated. Everyone loved him. Became this really good baby face by himself with the boots. Everyone's loving the Nakamura. Then he does the unthinkable. Then he turns heel. And he's got a little promo with the Cody Rhodes. And he's got this samurai thing about him. And we loved it then. Then he gets injured and he comes back and he tunes it just a little bit more. And I like this iteration even better. And Nakamura, this is something, he's a true artist, because a true artist, they actually just know how to make themselves relevant throughout the times, right? Whether it's the style of music or whatever, who knows, whatever. Anyways, this guy's doing everything right. And here's what I love. There's no, it's all subtitles. It's all subtitles. And it's dark, and it's great, and it's mysterious, and I love it. But here's the thing. WWE, can I just, one suggestion? Just suggestion box. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't want you to reveal my name. I want to keep it a secret. Okay? It's like being in, that class in elementary, the one that our parents had to sign off for. And there was the question box or the suggestion box. No one got to know. WWE, can you just give us maybe a little more time to read the subtitles? Little more time. I'm not a crazy fast reader, but you know what? I want a little bit of both. I want to read subtitle and I want to look at the face. That's how I watch Netflix. Okay? So I'm just saying, maybe just a little more time, because I think it'll be impactful. The other thing too, and again, follow me on this. Do you remember Kai and Tai? Was it Kai and Tai? I'm pretty sure it was Kai and Tai. But do you remember back in the day when they used to come out and talk with the subtitles? I mean, that was a joke where it's like, indeed. Hilarious, by the way. But what if you got the subtitles, and what if you threw Nakamura's voice a little bit off? It wasn't matching properly. Like when we miss Raw, SmackDown, or AEW or anything, we're going back, we're looking at the highlights, and people because they can't legally show you the highlight package in a way so the sound is off, or this is what you get what I'm saying. I think it would just add to the effect. It would be great. It would be so foreign film, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm watching the Nakamura. He's given the business. He's laying the SmackDown on SmackDown. And then it occurred to me, is this guy not the Japanese Sting? I'm going to let that simmer for a second. Yeah. You heard it here first, folks, at the alternate commentary table. You heard it here first. Now, I'm going to say something about a couple of things. Maybe he comes down from the rafter. Maybe he starts bringing a baseball bat. I'm just throwing it out there. But it's there. It's there, you guys. This is great. This is absolutely great, I'm telling you. And if he comes out with a scorpion on his pant leg, then I know they're listening. Just like we know Simple Jack was listening. That's why he shaved his head on AEW. Don't think that we don't know that McGuire on wrestling has clout in this wrestling world, okay? I'm going to get to some fashion here. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens. Listen, the promo, the build-up. I like what Kevin Owens is doing. Cody, you're trying a little too hard for me. You're trying a little too hard. Okay, you're starting to get into Adam Page territory. And I'm talking pre, not current, pre. The one that I didn't like. And I'm your biggest supporter. But the jacket I love. Okay, everyone. The tracksuit American Nightmare jacket. Please, Daddy, do Mitch and I a favor. Is there any way that we can get an ACT jacket like that? Because I'm telling you, the whole world's buying. That thing was retro. That thing was beautiful. And it was amazing. But let me tell you why I respect the Kevin Owens. Because the Kevin Owens makes fun of the Cody Rhodes for the way he dresses. And his suits and his fancy watches and shoes and blah, 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 blah. And he comes out with a t-shirt with the tux on it. Well played, sir. Well played. See, this is why the average person can get behind a Kevin Owens. It's real. It's authentic. It's not overdone. It's not overplayed. But yeah, Mitch nailed it. They don't have enough for him. There's nothing exciting or feud in the pipe. And I just worry that maybe the Cody Rhodes and that whole thing is a scenario whereby they think it's really cool. Like they think it's super cool internally, but it's just not landing very well. And I got to be honest, like I think Randy Orton, Kevin Owens is a lot more appealing to me. But I said what I said. Mitch is slow clapping. I'm starting to see the light, Mitch. I'm starting to see it. Here's what else I see. I see that teams are getting set up for a Survivor Series. I see at the top of the show, you know how I started, and this is how I'm going to finish. At the top of the show, I introduced myself as the Paul Heyman, and I loved it. Roman Reigns the other week, he phones, it's out of service. What happened? Did he drop the ball? Is he aligning with someone else? What's going on? Roman Reigns is dejected. He doesn't know what to do, where to turn. The bloodline can't find a fifth member. They said, all we have is each other. And at some point I looked and I said, I believe in not just Joe Hendry, but the bloodline. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he comes out. And he comes out and he brings out CM Punk, a Paul Heyman guy. Let me know. Chime in on the comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Was it what you were expecting? Was it what you weren't expecting? I'm very curious to hear the feedback on this because I'm going to take it this way because I am on the Team MOW page. You know, I'm calling on you, Greek World Order, the GWO. Someone posted up there. Let's get a thread going. The thing I like about it is I like that the Heyman's back. I like that it's still something that's making me guess in the storyline. Follow me. They got the Bronson Reed on the one side. That's all fine and dandy. But they got the CM Punk on the other. You'd think, well, aren't they supposed to get the Seth Rollins? Because that's how that would work. And you turn around and be like, okay, Seth Rollins should be there because that's how the old school wrestlers would do it. However, all of a sudden, the Rollins also has a little thing with the CM Punk. The Rock's nowhere to be seen. There's a lot of things going on. The Reed with the Rollins with the Punk with the Rollins, the Reed with anybody that's in his way. The Rock, the final boss. But there's something else I noticed. And I think Mitch might be onto something. I think last week when he said he might be aligning himself, maybe, just maybe, I looked at Paul Heyman, I said, Paul Heyman, you don't typically come to the ring in a black suit. I said, Paul Heyman, you don't typically come to the ring wearing a red shirt. Now, you could turn around and say, well, you know, Dimitri, the bloodline is black and red. Those are the colors. And by the way, Sammy Uso, love me that shirt. That's all fine. But no, Paul Heyman would come out with a blue suit. He look a little, something's different about him, you guys. Something's different. And I'm going to tell you something else. That little smirk he had on his face, I don't know if I like that smirk. I don't know if I like that smirk for the Roman Reigns. Something's going down at War Games, ladies and gentlemen. Something is going down. But I'd love to hear your comments. I'd like to see how that was received by you, the GWO, the fan, on the alternate commentary table. You know what it's time for? The alternate scenario. Ooh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. In the spirit of the Survivor Series, I'm just going to run through a couple scenarios. I'm going to have to tag myself in because it's a single man tag. That's a thing. We just created that. ACT t-shirt, single man tag. Listen, first and foremost, alternate scenario. What if Coco Beware was the guy that tombstoned The Undertaker and went on to go on an unprecedented streak? Tag me in. Yeah, I like it. That'd be hilarious. That would be the bird taker, right? The underparrot? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, how about this one? Alternate scenario. Who would you rather have as facing the bloodline? The OG bloodline with Roman Reigns? Or would you rather have the Hulkamaniacs? Tag me in. Listen. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not liking what's going on in the bloodline. I'm not liking what's going on in the bloodline whatsoever. I think if you had the Hulkamaniacs, like I'm talking the original OGs, I mean, that would be absolutely phenomenal. You know what I mean? A little bit of tugboat, boss man, Hogan. You know what I'm saying, okay? I think it was Santana, wasn't it? I think it was Tito Santana. That's what I'm talking about. The OG. Those are the OGs. Oh, alternate scenario, OGs versus the OG bloodline. I still got to give it to the OGs. All right, alternate scenario. If you could pick a Survivor Series matchup of one person stable, would you be a Paul Heyman guy or would you be a Bobby Heenan guy? I'll tag myself in. Ladies and gentlemen, I love me my Heyman. We talked about it. He is the greatest manager of all time. We did. He's got everything. However, Bobby the Brain Heenan, he had the brains and he had the brawn. And if you look at the stable that he had, I mean, ravishing Rick Rude, Andre the Giant, okay? I mean, we're talking some serious heavy hitters. So yeah, I'd have to take Bobby the Brain Heenan. Okay, it just came to me right now and we'll wrap up really quick because I got to run over and do the Greek hour here soon. Okay, alternate scenario. Would you rather see War Games as it is right now, or would you rather see the old school one big premium live event of the 4-on-4s, assemble your team, or would you rather see go back to the 4-on-4 old school, assemble your team, but you still had the very last team standing match at the very end, like I talked about with the first Survivor Series? Let me tag myself in. Guys, I'm a sucker for the old school Survivor Series. I'm a sucker for that whole who's teaming up with who, and I'm a sucker for when they did that war of attrition at the very end. I thought it was amazing. It was like, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was Tito Santana, Hulk Hogan, I think the Ultimate Warrior. And they had to go up against 5-6 guys. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think DiBiase was in there. Anyways, point being, I love that. I thought it was cool. And just like the Royal Rumble, I always felt it cool that the Survivor Series was one of those other one night only type of events. Nonetheless, speaking of one night only, one day only, it's very only and few times that I do this by myself. Thanks for bearing with me. The show's not the same without my partner. The dynamic that we have is really fun and cool, but nonetheless, Mitch, if we don't see you for the next couple weeks, we want to wish you and Katerina the best, and Kostak and the new family. It's very exciting news, exciting time. It's a true blessing. And the real Survivor Series is if Mitch will actually get to sleep in his bed or on the couch. Nonetheless, you got the GWO, you got the ACT, you got the Team MOW, you got everyone behind your back because we're rooting for you because we're Mitch Hontzias guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Appreciate it.